How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are taking on the God of War Ragnarok Platinum. I'll also be completing the Valhalla DLC so I can get the 100% for the game. I enjoyed the first one so much, and after Killjoy362 recommended it, I had to give it a go. Thank you to anyone that recommends a game. I'll definitely take a look, and if it's something I think that I'd like, I'll definitely give it a go. So the game is down as a 4 out of 10 on PSN profiles and should take around 50 hours. With the DLC included, it should be about 60, I think. There are 48 trophies altogether with the DLC and the base game. Let's get into the plan for the Platinum. So stage 1 will be completing the story, trying to get as many collectibles and things as I can to make the later game easier. Stage 2 will be finishing off all the collectibles and the favours. Stage 3 will be when I take on the Valhalla DLC, and then the final stage will be defeating Gnar. She gets her own stage because I can only presume that she's going to be worse than the Valkyrie Queen in the first game. Let's get into the Platinum. I'm going to go Give Me Balance. I'm not going to play on any of the harder ones because I want to have fun. Okay, so first gameplay of Ragnarok. I actually can't wait to get into this. I've been waiting to play this for ages. I needed to get a few others out of the way before I played it. But yeah, after playing the first one, I hope this one's just as good. I've heard it's better. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. Where's Atreus? The opening's always really sad to these games. It seems really sad so far. The first one was extremely sad. Wife died. Oh, there's Atreus. Oh, another thing that I liked just about, I mean, so far obviously in this game it's done it once, but in the first game it's so seamless between the cutscenes and the gameplay. It's so good. Don't like it when it's dogs, man. Genuinely, you could have like any death in a game or a film, like of a human, and I'll be maybe a bit sad depending who it is, but if it's a dog, it's just the saddest thing. Why have they got to start the game like this? For God's sake. For me, this is sadder than the opening of the first game. This is 10 times sadder. Oh, what the fuck? That was Atreus. Atreus! What the hell? When could he turn into a bear? Oh, Lang, first trophy, a grisly encounter, battle the bear. Nice, we're on the board, we're on the board. Oh, there's only one thing that can be. Goddamn fool. He's huge. Why is he so much taller than Kratos? Oh shit, it's Odin.
How about peace?
I don't trust him at all. He seems like a dickhead.
How does peace?
Straight in his belly. Oh my god. Mate, he is... What? He's so strong. Fucking hell. Alright, that's quite sick. Oh, Sindri and Brock, what the hell? Oh, blood there. Battle the God of Thunder. That was quite sick. This is the place from the first game. It looks a hell of a lot different when it's in all the snow and ice and everything. Oh, knock off the rust, purchase a skill. Nice, I'm absolutely flying through the trophies here. I just love the finishes on this game. You just completely destroy it, like everyone. It's so good. Oh, Spitshine. Upgrade one piece of armour. Nice. After collecting my fourth trophy within the first hour of playing, the trophies then became very few and far between. But I carried on with the story, and the first place we travelled to was Svartalfheim, the dwarves' homeworld. The enemies you first encounter, they're just annoying there, I can't lie. I preferred the enemies from the first game. After completing all the story missions in this area, I stuck around and done some side quests. The main one being making amends, which you also get a trophy for. You need to free this massive whale, basically, that Mimir helped capture and basically mine for resources, sort of thing. I'm not even going to attempt to say its name, I know I'll just butcher it. So yeah, it's a massive whale. It's very hard to miss. Then, before leaving Svartalfheim, we rescued Tyr, after he tried to run away from us because he thought that we were hallucinations, because he's been held captive for so long. And then I got to embark on one of the solo Atreus missions. Now this one, it wasn't actually too bad. We was just going to Freya to try and convince her to forgive Kratos, but she wasn't having any of it. Atreus was actually lucky to leave with his life. It was then onto the elf homeworld, which I absolutely hated in the first game, because the enemies were just horrendous. The dark elves would make it like misty and then just attack you, and it's impossible to just stop, and it just really frustrated me in the first one, and I just couldn't be bothered for that in this one either. But fortunately, they was completely different enemies. The light elves were actually so much easier to fight. I enjoyed it 10 times more. We made it to the temple and showed Tyr the Jotnar shrine within the Jotnar shrine. And it told us about the Ironwood, which is basically a forest for the giants. Later that night, Atreus has a dream which actually transports him to Ironwood, where he meets Angrboda, and it's then what feels like a 3-hour dream sequence basically. I'm 100% convinced the majority of things you do in this area are just there to make the game time longer, which is just incredibly frustrating. Obviously, if you like that area, fair enough. It is a very beautiful area. I just think the gameplay in that area was genuinely there to make the game longer. There was nothing about it that was that fun, basically. I didn't think, at least. But yeah, I just thought it was a bit meh, the area. Especially the animal that you rode around on. It was generally like the slowest moving thing in a game that I've used in a very long time. But you do receive one story trophy for your troubles, and that's the Cauldron, for destroying Grilla's Cauldron, who happened to be Angrboda's nan. Swiftly after, you're transported back to your home in Midgard that's empty. Once you've fought off a few enemies, Kratos shows up and expresses a lot of anger towards Atreus, because he's gone missing for 2 days, and he thinks he's been to see Odin. And after a few more enemies fought, a mysterious Valkyrie turns up that you need to fight. It's a decent fight, she's not the easiest, but it actually turns out to be Freya, and Kratos stops Atreus in bear form from trying to kill her. Freya doesn't want to be bound to Midgard still, so we agree to travel to Vanaheim to free her from Odin's spell. And we earn the Backyard Brawl trophy after that fight.
One gateway to Vanaheim coming right up.
While in Vanaheim, we meet Freyr, who is Freya's brother, and then earn 2 more trophies while we're there. One for battling this wham serpent looking thing that protects the roots of the world tree, and then also for equipping an enchantment. Then onto more story trophies. First, it was Spartan Ways for remembering the Spartan teachings, and to be honest, I just kind of randomly got that one. I don't actually remember having to do anything for it. I think it was just dialogue, basically. I then battled Garm for the Off the Leash trophy. This is also when Atreus transfers Fenrir's soul into Garm. There was a few big fights next. The first one was battling Heimdall, which I'm so glad we got to fight him, because he's just a dickhead in this. If that's how he's genuinely meant to be depicted, then Marvel have fully sold everyone a dream, because their depiction is completely different, and he's actually likeable, but yeah, in the game he's horrendous. Before we get into the next fight, there was unfortunately a devastating death in the story, and it was none other than Brock. After defeating Heimdall and then Atreus managed to piece back together the mask Odin and him were extremely interested in, Brock unfortunately was killed. I'll let the next part play out with my live reaction because I had no idea that this was going to happen.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
What the fuck?
Shut up.
Oh my god. Fuck off.
Let go of the boy and face me.
Tell your brother
No way.
and you've got a deal.
How the fuck? He's been Odin the whole time.
Now.
What the fuck?
Plan. But if he dies, we are square.
Now it was on to the Hrist and Mist fight. The multiple phases on this fight was so long. It was actually, I genuinely didn't know when it was going to end. And then fighting two Valkyries at once, it's just an annoying thing to do. It's cool, it's sick, it's a great mission, but yeah, it's just a bit annoying. It took me a few goes, but I was eventually able to beat them. And then now it was just onto the final quest to cause Ragnarok and beat Odin. But before I started that quest, I wanted to do a small amount of grinding, and I managed to get the Besties trophy for petting Speki and Svanna. The final quest starts when you blow the horn that signifies the start of Ragnarok. The 8 realms are then united in the pursuit of defeating Odin. You start by trying to break into Asgard through the front door, but you need to try and take out the weapons defending the door. Eventually you get to a point where the Asgardians seem to be winning and they're pushing back all of the forces. And then Sindri destroys all of the defences by hitting some sort of contraption. Sindri is still extremely upset by the death of Brock and blames Kratos and Atreus. After destroying the defences, Kratos and Atreus enter Asgard and you fight Thor outside of Odin's Gath. It's more difficult than when you fight him earlier in the game, obviously because that's like right at the start basically, but it's still decently easy. You convince Thor to stop and Odin then decides to kill him. You then fight Odin. He's the final boss of the game, so you can imagine he's going to be quite difficult. And also he has multiple phases. The first phase was alright, it was mainly just dodging his big attacks and then going platform to platform and then obviously hitting him when you can. But the second phase, my god, this one took me so long. When his health bar changed, so you had to hit him with the blades or the axe or even the spear, it made the fight so much more difficult because you felt like you was just doing no damage and you was hardly doing anything to him. But thankfully I managed to defeat Odin, but during the escape, unfortunately Freya's brother had to stay behind so that everyone else could live. I think he was actually quite a good character and it's a shame that he had to die. And finally, for completing the final quest, you receive the Ragnarok trophy. And that's the end of the story. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I'm not sure which one I actually enjoyed more, the first one or the second one. Maybe because of playing with like Atreus so much, possibly the first one was better because playing with him was genuinely horrendous. But the whole story was epic. The different phases of Odin, they were just crazy. I died so many times on that middle part, it's unbelievable. I really hope they don't do an Atreus spin-off, because that's just going to be rubbish. I'd much rather play as Mimir's head than Atreus again, to be honest. I think that puts me on to 15 trophies, so I still have quite a lot of grinding to do. So I'll bring you guys back once I've made some more progress. The main bulk of the game, in my opinion, is what comes after the story finishes. There are a lot of side quests and random trophies you need to collect. I started by attending Brock's funeral. This was a sad end to a great character, and annoyingly Sindri is still very annoyed with Kratos, which personally I think his anger is just at himself, but he's just directing it at both Kratos and Atreus. Anyway, after the funeral, I earned the Rebel Leader trophy as well in Svartalfheim for returning the Hammer of the Rebellion. After this, I didn't really know where to start with the rest of the grind. There's so many markers on the map and different things to do, I was a little bit lost. So I thought, what's the best thing to do? And for some reason, I landed on completing everything in my least favourite region on the map first. So that way I can do all of the good places last and actually enjoy the ending to the platinum. So I headed straight over to Vanaheim. For me, I like this place the least. The plants just annoyed me, and the enemies I felt were harder than most of the other places. And in hindsight, this genuinely was probably the best choice that I could have made, as now I know that this place has the most things to do post story, with the main Vanaheim area that you start in and are only in during the story, and then there's the area in the north called the crater, and the other two subsequent areas off of the crater. This is where all of the dragons are. I generally spent 3 days maybe completing everything in this area, as in like the whole of Vanaheim, not just the crater area. That would be horrendous. Vanaheim is honestly a joke. Although, to be fair, it did grow on me by the end of it. I just spent way too long there, and I honestly forgot like what the other areas in the game even looked like. It was then on to the elf homeworld. There was only one trophy to collect here, but there were also so many random collectibles on the map as well that I needed for the platinum. I also realised around this point that I've made one fatal mistake. I was under the impression that I needed to complete every single favour in the game. I don't know whether my brain was still thinking that I was playing the previous game I platinumed, which was Ghost of Tsushima. With that one you have to complete all of the Tales of Tsushima. But yeah, realising this made my life so much easier. Thankfully as well, by this point I started to come to the end of the collectible grind. The first collectible trophy that popped was Full Belly for obtaining all of the apples and horns that affect health and rage. Then How's It Going for fully repairing the amulet. The Librarian for collecting all the books. I liked how they all related to different PlayStation IP. I thought that was a really nice touch. The Curator for collecting all artifacts. Rightful Place for returning all of the worms to Ratatoska. I found them all earlier in the game, I just never went to see them. And the final collectibles trophy was the Florist for collecting one flower from each of the 9 realms. Now at this point I only had a few trophies left. The first one I went after was for defeating all of the Berserkers. Now I started with probably the hardest fight out of all of them, other than the last one, and that was the one we have to battle 3 of them at the same time. I definitely wouldn't recommend starting with that one. I'd build up to it rather than go for it as your first. It took me a little while to defeat them all, and then I finally made it to the Berserker King. Now this was a boss battle. He basically takes all of the best attacks from the 12 Berserkers and cycles through them all just to cause maximum pain and depression. So far this was the hardest fight I've had in the game. I now know though that Gnar or Nar, however you say her name, is by far the worst one. But you'll see that in a little bit anyway. This guy took me about an hour straight of fighting, dying, respawning, fighting, dying, respawning. I couldn't even really argue that I was underleveled. I only had one piece of armour that was a level 8 and the rest of the armour was level 9. And my weapons were basically maxed out as well. He was just better than me. I got close a couple of times and I think those were the worst parts. I knew I could do it, it's just getting so far and then having to restart was just demoralising. But I tried and I tried and I failed each time. So instead I gave up and went to upgrade my piece of armour that was level 8. Which actually earned me the Ready for Commitment trophy for fully upgrading one armour set. I then returned to King Hrolf. To my astonishment, I was actually a bit better now. I don't know if it was just placebo after upgrading the armour, but I'll take what I can get. I finally managed to defeat him and claim the Grave Mistake trophy. I then just had 2 more trophies before I stopped with the main game and went on to the DLC trophies. First I went for the Trials by Fire for completing the Trials of Muspelheim. In this game they were definitely easier I think, or maybe I just felt they was more fun and that's why I felt that was a bit easier because I really enjoyed actually playing them. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the ones in the first game as well. I just think I like the system in this game more. And then finally I managed to earn the Collector trophy after purchasing the last few relics, which I didn't actually realise I needed to buy them. But now it's on to the DLC trophies. Okay, so that's everything in the main game other than fighting Gnar, however you say her name. Yeah, the second part of the grind has been, I don't know whether to say fun or just straight up annoying. I don't know, the Berserker guys, my god, they frustrated me. I don't think it helped that I actually done the one where you have to fight 3 of them in one go as my first one, so I think like that just sort of set the tone for the rest of them. Even though I think that one probably is the hardest one I've done, other than the king fight, the final fight. Oh my god, I tried it so many times. Spent an hour earlier trying to get that done, and finally managed to do it on the last one. I got so close so many times, and then other times I literally got like 2-3 bars of his health done and I died. So yeah, there was no real like in between. It was just a very difficult fight. And then to be fair, the Muspelheim trials, they are really good. I do enjoy them a lot. I think they're probably my favourite part of this like back end grind, other than actually just going through all the worlds and getting, say, all the ravens, all of the other like map markers. That was actually quite fun. I really enjoyed that. I just didn't enjoy the really hard fights. I'm not going to enjoy Nark because I accidentally went over to her once, and I got like 1.5 bars of health down from her, and then died, unfortunately. But I was lower level than I am now, which I'm currently level 9. So yeah, but we're going to get into the Valhalla DLC. It's the first time that I've actually done the DLC. I've never even looked at it before. So you're going to get my first reactions here. Meant to be experienced after the complete. Yep, I've completed it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go. Give me courage. Show me courage. Oh, I haven't even got my headphones on. Great. What is going on? We have a chair. I have a chair. La 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 la. I have a chair. I have a chair.
Doesn't seem anyone's here to welcome us.
It's very ominous so far.
Not the sort of foes I expected to encounter.
What's this chest for?
Curious.
Oh, so I get rewards every time like I beat a group of enemies. That's pretty cool. Oh, sick. This is basically just like Niflheim in the first game, except there's no mist that can kill you. It's just endless, like, enemies. That's so cool. Ah, shit, I've died. Oh well, we move. I'll probably just show you guys, like, the rest of the DLC with not that much live commentary. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. I literally got the first trophy just after turning my mic off. It was the invitation accepted trophy. It was then just a lot of grinding, really. You had to do multiple runs to get all the trophies, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing similar in this game, I guess, was the Muspelheim trials, but even then I feel like this had much more variety and was more reminiscent of Niflheim in the first game, like I mentioned earlier. As well, the story in the DLC was actually quite gripping. It made me want to keep playing and keep getting further and further. Although the first time I beat Tyr and beat him, and then it just sent me straight back to the beginning, I was kind of annoyed. But then I quickly got over that because I could just start a new run straight away. I definitely found getting runic attacks was the best way to go. They allowed you to deal extra damage, and it especially made the fights with Tyr a bit easier. I think my favourite area of the DLC was the Greece section. Having all those different fights and then needing to do them quickly so you can have easier enemies made it so much fun. And when you fought the hardest ones, it just made it so satisfying when you beat them. I must say, when you let the level get to 4 or 5, you definitely notice the enemies basically just become sponges. I especially liked how they addressed Kratos' past in the DLC. It gets mentioned in the games, but not massively, and I just really enjoyed how they went a bit deeper into it. After completing all of the story trophies and finally mastering Valhalla, I only had 3 trophies left. First, I was able to get the You Again trophy for finding all 3 boat captain keys. It was then fight at the forum for participating in a fight at the forum area. And the final trophy was for collecting 15,000 fleeting echoes on a single attempt. I can't lie, I lowered the difficulty for this one. There wasn't any point in struggling with it. I managed to get them all and complete the DLC trophies Now it's just the final battle with Gnar. That's absolutely everything done for the Valhalla DLC. I'm not gonna lie, for a free DLC, that it was actually unreal. I really liked it because it was similar to the Niflheim area in the first game, where you go and you sort of just can battle as many enemies as you want, and then get the mist echoes, and then come back and upgrade, and then go again and again and again. That's what I enjoyed about it. The fact that you had to beat Tyr every time was annoying because he beat me once or twice. But yeah, no, that was really good, and it didn't take us too long, which is a big plus. So now we just have one trophy left, and that is fighting Gnar, whatever her name is. No idea. So right, we're here. I'll keep you guys here for my first attempt. I did well, I say first attempt. I actually did accidentally run into her a little while ago, because I didn't realise this was the fight against her. So it's already unlocked. Right, here we go. Let's give her a go. Fuck. Okay, right, yeah, no. Shit. This is going to be very bad. Why the hell are they not going at her? This is going to be really bad. Yeah, that's 10 times worse than the one in the first game. Okay, well, okay, I've got to lock in. So I will bring you guys back. Hopefully I do it. Obviously, if you're seeing this, I will have done it. But yeah, I'll bring you guys back once I've done a bit better with this fight. Guys, I hate her. She's just the worst. That fight was honestly something else. Her speed was crazy. And then at times it felt like she was doing things she hadn't even done before. It's like her moves evolved for every attempt. I got her down to like half a bar of health 2 times very early on in my attempts, which gave me a lot of hope. And then all of the hope had just been destroyed by her. I genuinely lost count of how many times I died on this one. All I know is that this fight took me 2 hours, with an hour break in between each hour, because I was just getting way too annoyed. The Valkyrie Queen in the first game is literally like fighting a level 1 enemy compared to this. I'd fight 2 of the ones in the first game instead of fighting the one in this game. She absolutely shits all over King Hrolf as well, and I thought he was hard. Anyway, eventually I managed to defeat her, and I'll show you my live reaction now. Oh my god, I've done it. Oh my god. That was horrific. I hated every moment of that fight. Oh my god. She is crazy. I'm so happy I've done that. Oh my god. That was so difficult. That was 10 times harder than the one in the last one. And also, I don't know how, but it's 10 times harder than the king one of the Berserkers, because I struggled with him a lot. But yeah, that one, fuck me, that was just a different level. She's so fast, and sometimes she would do things that she's not done before. As in, like, say with my attacks, before it would stagger her or stun her, but then sometimes it wouldn't, sometimes it would. It made no sense. But yeah, hopefully we're going to see Freya just cut her head off, because I hate this lady, mainly. I wish we was ripping her wings off like the last one, to be honest, because she deserves that after that fight. Come on, Freya, just wet her up, mate. That's what we all want. It's what everyone wanted. Come on. Come on. What's she doing? Bit of speed, Freya, bit of speed. I want this platinum trophy, man. Bling. I'm so gassed she's dead. Fuck her. Hated her. Dickhead. Right, come on. Where is she? The axe actually looks so sick. Oh, there we go. The true queen. Battle Gnar. And then The Bear and the Wolf, the Platinum Trophy. Thank fuck for that. It's been a great game, but the back end of it, oh my god, I found it horrendous. Yeah, overall, like, genuinely a good game, but the grind for the platinum, I wouldn't recommend people go for it, to be honest, but yeah, there's that. So cool. I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you have, then a like would be great, and then if you wanted to subscribe, that's even better. Safe.